It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Matt asked, he said, I'm not in a rush to buy a home. I'm just stockpiling cash for a down payment. Is it worth it to wait until a crash in housing prices before I buy, or is it better to just get into the market ASAP? Should I wait, or should I go ahead and get in on team appreciating real estate? And how do I approach that? And maybe is there something the Money Guy team tells me that might help me make that decision a little bit easier?
So first of all, Matt, we have a treat for you. This Friday, we have a premiere on a real estate show. And it's going to be the housing market's in a bubble. Should I buy? Should I rent? Should I sell? We're going to answer all the questions because we're going to do this by age. So it's going to help people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. So I would definitely tell Matt to tune in to our premiere that's coming up this Friday. But let me tease it a little bit. Here's something we found out in our research. This is a unique time. There's always some analysis going on. Is it a good time to rent? Is it a good time to buy? The separation between rent payments versus making mortgage payments, actually, right now, it favors being a renter. But I will look, there's a lot of benefits to owning a house and being on team appreciating real estate because, as you know, if like in our market right here in Franklin and Nashville, it's not uncommon for houses to appreciate 20%. So Matt's down payment might actually be running away from him. You know, it's kind of like that cruel joke when your friends, you know, they're all in the car already, and you go to grab the handle to get in the back seat with them, and they pull it forward, and then you're like, okay, that's funny, guys. And then you go up and they pull forward again. And you're like, seriously, guys. I mean, I want to get in the back seat. This was funny the first 3 times. I feel like that's what's going on with real estate and down payments for first-time buyers. But here's a cautionary thing with this. You better make sure, because I do believe that it's just like stock market investing is walking up a mountain with a yo-yo. Real estate investing in the long term can very much be the same way, but it's just that the higher real estate prices are going, it's the longer you better stay in that house to make sure you're not buying at the tippity top of the market and you're going to be there long enough to smooth it out.
You hit, Brian, on exactly where I was going to go with my answer. It's really, really difficult because the housing real estate market does appear to be very hot now. When it comes to making a home decision, I hope that it's a long-term decision, meaning that when you buy that house, you're planning on being there at least 5 to 7 years, but hopefully 7, 10, 15 years. So what that means is that when you do make the purchase, even if you do make it at the top of the market in 2007, right before a pending downturn, hopefully you're in the house long enough that you can recover from that you can make that up, that you can get that equity back. I would not let the housing market drive your housing decision so much as you let your life circumstance drive that housing decision. Because we've had to do that in my past. You know, when my wife and I were growing our family and stuff, you know, we kind of, even though we had moved to a new area and we kind of liked this whole renting thing, we had sold our house in Georgia and we're renting here and it kind of felt wonderful. As our family began to grow, she said in no uncertain terms, hey, it's time for us to be in a house. We need a home. We're not just going to be bouncing around. And so we made that decision, and it was much more based on our life circumstance than where the real estate market was. So I think you got to really, that's one of those, there's a reason that a house is a use asset and not an investment asset. How you think about purchasing and utilizing use assets is very different than how you think about purchasing and utilizing investment assets. So I would measure that.
And you're hoping that use asset turns into assets that help you, but until you actually liquidate, it's not really, it's a use asset.
That's exactly right.